Imagine the worst single-day loss in the history of air warfare. What comes to mind? Perhaps you're thinking of the Schweinfurt disaster. Nestled in the heart of Germany, Schweinfurt was an unassuming city with a deadly secret. It was home to some of the largest ball bearings factories in the world, integral to the German war machine during the Second World War. These tiny, seemingly insignificant objects were the lifeblood of tanks, planes, and guns, keeping the gears of war turning smoothly. Recognizing their strategic importance, Allied forces saw an opportunity. They planned a large-scale air raid, aiming to cripple the German war efforts by striking at the heart of their supply chain. Hundreds of bomber planes filled with eager young men took to the skies, their hearts pounding with adrenaline and nerves. Their mission was clear: destroy the factories, disrupt the enemy, and return home victorious. Little did they know, they were flying straight into a disaster of unprecedented scale. On the fateful day of October 14th, 1943, the skies over Schweinfurt turned dark with the shadows of American B-17 bombers. Over 200 of these flying fortresses, bristling with machine guns and laden with bombs, made their way towards the German city, their target, the ball-bearing factories that were crucial to the Nazi war effort. But what should have been a decisive strike was doomed from the start. The bombers, despite their formidable armament, were not invincible. They relied on long-range escort fighters to fend off enemy aircraft, but on this day, these escorts were conspicuously absent. The P-47 Thunderbolts, the primary escort fighters of the American forces, lacked the fuel capacity to accompany the bombers all the way to Schweinfurt and back. As a result, the B-17s were left exposed, easy prey for the German Luftwaffe. The Germans, sensing an opportunity, threw everything they had at the approaching bombers. The sky was filled with flak and the deadly dance of dog-fighting aircraft. The American bombers, without their escorts, were outmatched. They pressed on, but the cost was high. 60 of the B-17s were shot down, with many more damaged beyond repair. The loss of life was staggering, with over 600 airmen killed or captured. Despite this, the bombers reached their target and unleashed their deadly cargo. But even this small victory was hollow. The factories were damaged, yes, but not significantly. The German war machine, so thought to be reliant on Schweinfurt's ball bearings, simply adapted and continued its relentless march. The attack on Schweinfurt, hailed as a decisive strike, turned into a disaster. The American forces, so confident in their flying fortresses, were given a brutal reality check. The lack of escort fighters, the fierce German resistance, the heavy losses, all highlighted the shortcomings of the American strategy. The skies over Schweinfurt turned from a hopeful blue to a disastrous gray, as the American forces suffered a devastating defeat. In the aftermath of the Schweinfurt disaster, the American air forces were left to count their losses and reassess their strategies. The mission had been a catastrophic failure, with over 60 B-17s lost and hundreds of crew members killed or taken prisoner. The cost in human lives was profound, and the impact on the morale of the 8th Air Force was equally significant. Faced with such a devastating blow, the American military command was forced to reevaluate their approach to strategic bombing. They recognized that sending bombers deep into enemy territory without escort was a recipe for disaster. This realization led to a strategic shift: the introduction of long-range fighter escorts. The P-51 Mustang, with its extended range, came to play a crucial role in protecting the bombers on their perilous missions over Germany. The changes brought about by the Schweinfurt disaster were not limited to the tactics employed in the air. The lessons learned from the mission also influenced the planning and execution of future operations. The importance of accurate intelligence, the need for coordinated attacks, and the value of a well-protected bomber force became cornerstones of American air strategy. The legacy of the Schweinfurt disaster extends beyond these strategic shifts. The raid remains a stark reminder of the high cost of war. a day of unprecedented loss that forever changed the course of air warfare. It is a testament to the courage and sacrifice of the men who flew on that fateful day, their stories etched into the annals of history. Yet, the disaster also serves as a lesson in resilience. Despite the heavy losses, the American Air Forces did not buckle. They adapted, evolved, and continued to play a vital role in the eventual Allied victory. The lessons learned from this disastrous mission continue to influence military strategies to this day.